Nickelodeon, Blaze and the Monster Machines, Stuntmania. STEM-powered. In this story, see how Blaze and his buddies use acceleration to save the day. Acceleration. What is it? When Blaze is going one speed and then starts to go faster, that's acceleration. It was showtime at the Monster Dome. Crowds had come from all over Axle City to watch Darington perform his biggest stunt ever on the super track at Stuntmania. "I'm going to be the first monster machine to race through all these loops and jumps," Darington told Blaze. "I want to be the first one to ride the super track. And I can be, with a little cheating," said a jealous Crusher. He opened his secret compartment and a big machine popped out. "My bouncy boot machine is gonna give Darington the boot." The bouncy boot machine sent Darington flying with a mighty kick. "Now that Darington's gone, no one can stop me from riding the super track," Crusher said. Crusher, what about that?" said Pickle as the bouncy boot machine headed right for them. The bouncy boot machine kicked Crusher and Pickle high into the air. Meanwhile, Blaze had to find Darington and bring him back to the Monster Dome in time for Stuntmania. "Let's blaze!" he shouted as he sped off with his driver AJ. AJ used his wrist computer and found Darington calling for help from a cave on a snowy mountain. "We've got to hurry and get him out of there." Blaze accelerated up the narrow path to the top of the mountain. Suddenly, several bighorn trucks popped out to ram Blaze. They did not want him driving up their mountain. "They're so big that they have to hide behind the biggest rocks," said AJ. "So to keep away from them, we need to stay away from the biggest rocks." Blaze and AJ drove up the mountain path. They sped toward 3 rocks in the road. "Which one is the biggest?" asked AJ. "The one on the left," said Blaze, and he quickly swerved right. A bighorn truck jumped out from behind the biggest rock and missed them. "Not today, Bighorn," called AJ. Blaze and AJ zoomed to the top of the mountain. They found Darington, but he was frozen in ice. "We could melt the ice with a blast of super hot air," suggested AJ. "I can turn into a machine that blasts hot air," Blaze cried as he transformed into a hairdryer. "I'm a hot air-blowing monster machine!" Blaze blew hot air and melted the ice into a puddle of water. Darington was free. The monster machines revved their engines and zoomed down the mountain. They had to get back to Stuntmania before Crusher. But Crusher had one last sneaky trick in mind. "You'll never get past my earthquake maker," he laughed. Crusher's machine made a crack in the road just behind Blaze and Darington. "We need to go faster," cried Blaze. "Let's accelerate." Blaze and Darington raced ahead, leaving Crusher and the earthquake maker in the dust. With an extra burst of speed, they made it to the super track first. "I don't feel like doing the trick all by myself," Darington told his friends. "I want to ride the super track with you guys, my best pals in the whole world." "Super track, here we come!" shouted Darington. Side by side, he and Blaze raced through giant loops and sharp turns. The racers accelerated as they headed straight toward the final trick. "Will they make it?" asked the announcer, Bump Bumperman. The crowd held their breath as the 2 monster machines leapt off a huge ramp right through a flaming star. Blaze and Darington had completed the Stuntmania super track. "We did it, Blaze! We really did it!" Darington shouted. Blaze smiled and gave his friend a big high tire. "We did it together!"